Hello and welcome back to the deep dive. We are so happy to have you with us today.
We really are.
Whether you are listening on your commute while you're doing chores or maybe sitting down with a notebook, we are ready to get into it.
Yeah, let's do it.
And today we are doing something a little different, something really special. We're focusing specifically on our listeners who are learning English.
That's right. Usually, we take a whole stack of articles or reports and we just break them down.
Mm-hmm.
But today, our source material is a bit different. We're looking at a transcript from the Mr. English channel, specifically Episode 1.
Episode 1, a great place to start.
And our mission today is to help you understand not just the words, but the feeling and the grammar behind the dialogue.
Exactly. We are acting as your guides. We want to take this conversation between the two characters, their names are Emily and Paul, and really unpack it.
Yeah, dig into it.
We want to squeeze every single drop of value out of it for you. The topic they're discussing seems simple on the surface. Basic expressions and grammar for hobbies.
Right. It sounds like a beginner lesson.
But as we were reading through this, we realized there is so much more going on here than just, vocabulary lists.
Well, absolutely. It's about connection. It's about fluency. It's really about how you present yourself to the world in a second language.
I love that.
When you look at a transcript like this, it is so easy to just read the lines and then move on.
Sure.
But our goal today is to stop and to look at the specific choices these speakers made and explain why they matter.
And why you should be making similar choices. So let's set the scene. We have Emily and Paul. They're the hosts of this educational channel.
Mm-hmm.
And right at the beginning, Emily introduces the concept of talking about hobbies, and she calls it a universal icebreaker. I love this phrase.
Universal icebreaker. It's such a powerful image, isn't it?
It is.
Let's break that down for a second because it is such a culturally important concept, especially in English-speaking countries.
Right. So imagine an iceberg or a frozen lake.
Exactly. Imagine you're in a room with strangers. Maybe it's a party or a business conference or even a new classroom.
And you don't know anyone.
No one. The atmosphere feels stiff. It feels cold. It feels frozen.
That silence can be really, really uncomfortable. We call that awkward silence.
Yes, the dreaded awkward silence. That's the ice. Now, you need a tool, something sharp, to break through that ice so that conversation can start to flow.
And that's the icebreaker.
That is what an icebreaker is. It's a topic or a question that just shatters the tension in the room.
And Emily says hobbies are the universal icebreaker. I think that word universal is key here.
Oh, it's so important. And it means it works for everyone.
Everyone, everywhere.
It works in pretty much every culture, and it works for every age group. I mean, think about it. If you talk about politics...
Oof, you might start a fight.
Right. If you talk about religion, you might offend someone. If you talk about the weather, well...
That's safe, but it's so boring. It is raining today.
Yes, it is.
And that's it. End of conversation.
Exactly. But if you ask, what do you like to do in your free time? Suddenly, you're opening a door. You're inviting the other person to share a piece of themselves, something they genuinely care about.
It's personal, but not too personal.
It is the best way to connect and make new friends.
Yeah.
Just like Emily says in the script.
Yeah, and I think for our listeners, that is the key motivation here. You're not learning these phrases just to pass a test.
No.
You're learning them so you can connect with other human beings.
Precisely. Language is a bridge. And talking about hobbies is one of the strongest, most reliable bridges you can build.
So before they really get into the lesson, Emily also says something that's very standard for the YouTube and podcast generation. She says, subscribe and give us a like.
I noticed that too. And it's so interesting how language evolves with technology, isn't it?
It really is.
I mean, 10 or 15 years ago, the phrase give us a like wouldn't have made any sense at all.
People would have thought you were asking for a comparison. Like what?
Right. But now it's a set phrase. It's a collocation. In the world of social media, we use these very specific verbs. We hit subscribe.
Give a like.
We leave a comment. We smash the like button.
It's really part of digital literacy in English now. If you're watching content online, you will hear this in almost every single video. So it's good to recognize it.
It's also a command, but it's a polite one, a friendly one. It's a call to action.
Okay, let's get into the real meat of the episode. Paul, the other character, poses a really, really interesting question.
Yeah, this is where it gets good.
He asks, when a beginner wants to talk about hobbies, they usually just use the word like. Is that enough?
This is the central question of their whole discussion. And I think a lot of our listeners can probably relate to this.
Oh, for sure.
You learned the word like in your very first English lesson. I like apples. I like cats. I like soccer.
It's functional. It totally works. If I say I like swimming, you know exactly what I mean. There's no confusion.
You do. It's factually correct. But Paul is hinting at something deeper here. He's hinting that functional isn't always enough if your goal is to be fluent.
Okay, so there's a difference between just communicating and communicating well.
A huge difference.
And Emily's response is great. She says, it's a great start, but we have 3 levels. I love this idea of levels. It almost gamifies the learning process.
It does. It gives you a ladder to climb. You start at the bottom, and you can see the path to work your way up. It's encouraging.
So let's look at level 1, the word like.
Level 1, the standard. I like to cook. It's neutral.
Okay.
It's safe. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. But, and this is the important part, it is a bit flat.
Flat? What do you mean by flat?
It lacks emotional color. It's like a black and white photograph. It tells you what is happening, but it doesn't tell you how it feels.
I see. So it's good for beginners, but if you want to sound more advanced, you need to move up from there.
Exactly. If you stay at level 1 forever, you might start to sound a little bit robotic. You know, I like food. I like movies. I like music.
I can hear that. It just gets really repetitive.
It does. So that's when Emily introduces level 2.
Which is the word love.
Love. Now we're getting into some real emotion.
Okay, so love is what she calls the passionate level.
Yes. And she gives the example, I love to cook.
And just notice the difference in energy there.
That is a huge point. In English, we use stress and intonation to carry so much meaning. You generally wouldn't say, I love to cook with a flat voice.
No.
You would say, I love to cook. You stretch the word out a little bit. You smile when you say it.
You put some genuine energy into it.
Exactly. When you use the word love, you are telling the listener, this isn't just something I do. This is something that makes me truly happy. This is a passion.
And it creates a much stronger bond with the person you're talking to. If I say I love hiking and you also love hiking, we have an instant connection.
It's a much stronger connection than if we both just liked it. Love implies enthusiasm. And enthusiasm is contagious. It makes you a more interesting person to talk to.
Okay, so we've got like, which is functional. We've got love, which is passionate. But then they drop the secret weapon. Level 3.
Level 3. This is the one Paul and Emily are really, really trying to sell us on. This is the goal.
And the word is enjoy.
Enjoy. E-N-J-O-Y.
Now, Paul says something very specific about this word. He says, enjoy makes you sound very fluent.
Very fluent. That's a big promise for one single word.
It is. So why does he say that? I mean, why does enjoy sound more fluent than even love? Love is a strong word.
It is, but it comes down to sophistication and nuance. Like and love are their basic emotions. Even small children use them all the time.
Okay.
But enjoy implies a process. It implies savoring something.
Savoring. That is a beautiful word. Can you explain that a bit more?
It means to really appreciate the taste or the feeling of something while it's happening. When you say, I enjoy cooking, it just paints a different picture.
How so?
It suggests you are present in the moment. You're smelling the spices, you're feeling the heat of the stove, you're actively having a good time during the activity.
So it sounds more adult in a way, more mature.
It does. It sounds more precise. It immediately separates you from the beginner who only knows the word like. It shows you have a broader, more sophisticated vocabulary.
You know, I also think the sound of the word itself contributes to that feeling.
Oh, that's interesting.
Like is a short, sharp sound. It just stops like, but enjoy. It flows. Enjoy. Kind of continues.
That is a great observation. The phonetics mirror the meaning. Enjoy feels longer, just like the experience that you're describing.
So if our listeners want a quick trick to sound more professional or more advanced, maybe swapping like for enjoy is a really great strategy.
It's a low effort, high reward strategy. It really is.
But, of course,
Right.
there is always a but in English grammar, isn't there?
There is. And this is a big one. This is a really important one. Emily warns us about it explicitly. She calls it a rule we must follow.
Okay, so let's get into the grammar deep dive here. Because if you use enjoy wrong, you lose all those fluency points you just gained.
Exactly. If you use it incorrectly, you actually sound worse than if you just stuck with like.
Okay, so let's start with the flexibility of like. Emily explains that like is the easy one.
Like is very forgiving. It's the nice teacher in the classroom.
I like that.
You can use it with the infinitive form, that's to cook, or you can use it with the gerund form, that's cooking.
So, I like to cook is correct.
Yes.
And I like cooking is also correct.
Yes. Both are 100% perfect. You can't really mess it up.
But enjoy. I'm guessing enjoy is the strict teacher.
Enjoy is very strict. Emily says, and I'm quoting here, with enjoy, we always use the ing form.
The ing form. The gerund. No exceptions.
Always. I enjoy cooking. I enjoy reading. I enjoy swimming.
And she explicitly highlights the common mistake. She says, never say, I enjoy to cook.
I enjoy to cook. Oof. Just hearing it makes me wince a little bit. It just feels wrong.
It sounds clunky, doesn't it? It doesn't flow.
It sounds like hitting a wrong note on a piano. It just interrupts the rhythm of the sentence. A native speaker will understand you, of course. They'll know what you mean.
Right.
But they will immediately know, okay, this person is still learning the basics.
It marks you as a beginner, even though you were trying to use an advanced word.
It does. So if you want that level 3 fluency, you have to master the grammar that comes with it. You have to respect the ing.
So why is that? Is there a deep grammatical reason why enjoy hates the word to?
Well, it helps to think about what the words imply. Often the to form, the infinitive, it points to the future or a goal. I want to cook. I haven't done it yet. I plan to cook.
Okay, that makes sense. It's about intention.
Exactly. But enjoy is about the experience itself. It's about the action as it is happening. The gerund, the cooking part, acts more like a noun that describes the activity. You are enjoying the process of cooking.
Ah, so you're inside the action, not looking ahead to it.
You are inside the action. So, I enjoy cooking puts you right there in the kitchen. I enjoy to creates this weird logical conflict in a native speaker's brain.
So the rule to memorize, enjoy plus verb ing.
Tattoo it on your brain. Enjoy doing, enjoy playing, enjoy learning.
Okay, so we've got the 3 levels. Like love, enjoy. We have the grammar trap to avoid. But the episode doesn't stop there. Emily and Paul move on to vocabulary.
Yes. And this is where the conversation gets really rich and useful.
They start explaining why they do these hobbies.
And this is the next step in fluency. It's not just stating the fact I cook, it's explaining the motivation behind it, the feeling.
Paul goes first. He talks about cooking. And he introduces a word that I think is absolutely essential for modern life. He says, I love to cook because it's how I unwind.
Unwind. UNWIND.
Now, first, let's talk about pronunciation. Because if you look at that word and you know about the weather,
you might be tempted to say unwind, like the wind blowing in the tree.
Bro, but that is completely wrong here.
It is. In this context, it rhymes with find or kind. Unwind.
So be kind. Unwind.
That's a nice mnemonic.
Yes.
Unwind.
And Paul gives this brilliant visual analogy to explain what this means. He says it's like a tight string becoming loose.
I love that image. It's so clear. Think about a guitar string or even just a piece of rope. When you're stressed, when you're working hard, you feel tight. Your shoulders are up by your ears. You feel coiled up.
You feel like you're ready to snap.
Exactly. You're under tension.
Yeah.
So to unwind means to release that tension.
Yeah.
To let that string go loose and relaxed.
So it's a very physical sensation of relaxation.
It is. And Paul says cooking does that for him. The simple, repetitive act of chopping vegetables, of stirring the pot, it helps him loosen that string.
And it's interesting because cooking is an activity. It takes effort. It's not passive. But for him, it provides mental rest.
That is such a key distinction. Unwinding doesn't necessarily mean doing nothing, like sleeping or watching TV. It means doing an activity that releases your stress. For some people, running helps them unwind. For others, it's painting or playing music.
Paul follows this up with an idiom, another great nugget for our listeners. He says cooking is how he recharges his batteries.
Recharge my batteries. This is a very, very common metaphor in English.
We're comparing ourselves to machines, right? To our phones.
We are, and we all know that feeling. You've had a busy day, as Paul says. You look at your internal energy level, and you are at 5%.
You're in the red.
You're in the red. You are drained. You feel like you can't function anymore.
You can't.
No. You need to plug in. You need to find a way to get that energy back.
And for Paul, cooking is his charger.
Exactly. And, this touches on the concept of introversion and extroversion, too.
Oh, how so?
For an introvert, being alone with a quiet activity usually recharges their batteries. For an extrovert, going to a party and being around people recharges their batteries.
That's a great way to use the phrase. I need some alone time to recharge, or I really need to see my friends this weekend to recharge.
It explains your energy source perfectly. So Paul uses cooking to unwind his stress and recharge his energy. It's a form of self-care.
Okay, then we have Emily. She shares her hobby. She says, I love to read. But before she says that, she gives herself a label. She calls herself a bookworm.
Bookworm.
Now, I have to ask about this. In some cultures, I think calling someone a worm would be a terrible insult.
It absolutely would. If you say you are a worm, that sounds like you're calling them low or dirty or insignificant.
But in English, when we say bookworm...
In English, bookworm is affectionate. It's a cute term. It's completely positive.
So no one should be offended if they're called a bookworm.
No, not at all. Wear it with pride. It just means you're someone who loves reading. someone who always has their nose in a book.
And Emily even says, I'm a total bookworm.
She uses that word total as an intensifier.
Yeah.
She means she is 100% a bookworm. It's a big part of her identity.
And she explains her routine. She reads for an hour every night,
which shows real dedication. And she gives a reason, just like Paul did. She says, it helps my brain slow down and escape into a different world for a while.
Slow down. That connects right back to that unwind idea, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah.
It's another great metaphor, maybe like a car. Her brain is racing all day, thinking about work, emails, problems. Reading is like hitting the brakes. It slows everything down.
And then she says, escape into a different world. This touches on that bigger concept of escape.